Assalamu alaikum, guys. Welcome to Freshly Grounded. I am here with the brother Sam. We've also got Mohamed here. And we're going to go into a bit more about Mohamed in a minute. But first, let's bang out the intro. Sam, episode 24, I believe.
Episode 24.
I hope so. I'm right in saying that, aren't I?
It is, because I referenced in that video that you put up yesterday that it was 23 episodes that you hadn't changed your discount code.
Did you like that video?
Did you like that video?
Yeah.
Do you think, was I rude to you?
Nah.
It's funny, wasn't it? I first watched it, I didn't like it, and then I thought it was
Really?
funny. Yeah.
Nah, man. I'm used to it. Guys, this podcast is brought to you... This podcast...
What happened to my voice?
This podcast is brought to you, as always, by 59.
That's 50_9 on Instagram.
That is...
That's healthy food. That's freshly ground coffee. Some say the best coffee in the world.
Some do.
Others say average. Mostly say it's very, very good.
Who says average?
No one, to be fair.
Yeah, no one says average.
It's really good coffee.
Don't put yourself down. It's amazing coffee.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. It's good coffee.
And they now do oat milk coffee as well.
Juices,
Oat milk coffee.
You guys need to try the juice.
Fresh juice, cold pressed juice, energy balls, sandwiches, spinach and feta, everything there.
Sourdough toast.
We're still doing the 50% off on the tote bag.
Amazing offer.
So that's 50% off tote bags while
So glad
stocks
you're carrying that on
last.
for another month.
Alhamdulillah. Then we have our next sponsor, Zaha.
IZAHA is Zaha.com.
That's Zaha.com. Check out the
Ivory
lifestyle
herbs.
section. They've got some fantastic beard oils.
Yep.
They've got some real good caps. They've got some nice t-shirts. No baseball bats whatsoever. But
Nope.
they've got some nice bits
You'll
and
not
pieces.
find. And if you use the code word Freshly Grounded, you get amazing
What's it today?
20% off.
Oh!
20% again?
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
Sorry, Sam? Right. We also brought you guys by Flavor. FLAVR, Flavor, 360 social media marketing machine. Also do iPhone applications, web design, web development, but mainly, let's say if you have a brand, you wanna get the brand out there, you wanna create some viral ad campaigns, you wanna spruce up your Instagram page, your social media, your Twitter, your Facebook. You wanna go to Flavor, FLAVR. On Instagram, it's by Flavor, BYFLAVR. To this week, guys, we have an amazing guest all the way from the Netherlands. We have Mohamed with us. In this episode, we talk about kind of Mohamed's upbringing, how he deals with being 99% blind, according to the doctors, his independence, kind of what kind of things the kind of challenges he goes through, how he is so independent with kind of been technically 99% blind. We also talk about a whole bunch of other stuff. We speak about Speaker's Corner a lot. We speak about the kind of whether relationships and everything involved with the relationships are spoken about enough, or if it's just too much of a taboo kind of conversation in our cultures. We delve into that as well, and we ask 1 or 2 fan questions. Really, am I right? Have I rounded it up well?
You've given it all away, if you ask me.
Really?
Yeah, what's the point of listening anymore?
What's the point of listening, bro?
Right. Just download everything. Make sure you always go onto iTunes or you go to the Android app that you can use, which I'm not familiar with.
Yeah, guys, please make sure you give us a 5-star rating on iTunes if and when you do listen to it on the podcast app. If you listen to it on YouTube, make sure you subscribe.
As well.
Is it? No, we're not on SoundCloud. No.
SoundCloud.
Make sure you listen to it on YouTube. If you listen to it on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We've hit 2,000 subscribers, Sam, on YouTube.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Hey.
And yeah, man, things are going up. Things are moving forward.
Make sure you follow me on all my socials. Thank you very much.
Follow Mohamed on his socials. Last but not least, there was one other thing that I wanted to mention before I ended this intro.
You also get to see how Faisal apparently does a bench press.
Yeah.
But I say apparently for a reason.
That is very true.
What were you going to say?
Oh yeah, sponsors. If you guys want to, if you're interested in sponsoring the podcast, if you're interested in getting in contact with us, you want to hit us up on the emails, it's hello@freshlygrounded.com, hello@freshlygrounded.com. Hit us up, and a member of the team should get back to you. All right, guys, with that being said, let's get into episode 24.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, cool.
And welcome to Freshly Grounded, the brand new podcast by best friends Faisal and Sam.
Huh?
I said welcome to Freshly Grounded.
No, after that bit.
the brand new podcast
And after that bit,
by best friends Faisal and Sam.
really?
We on?
Yep.
So we have the one and only Mohamed Smenings in the building.
Hello.
Assalamu alaikum
Wa rahmatullahi.
barakatuhu.
Mohamed, what does Smenning mean for those of us who are not Dutch?
Smening is actually an add-on. It actually means his opinion, but then a shorter version.
So Mohamed Smennings mean Mohamed, his opinion.
Muhammad's opinion, basically, if you want to roughly translate it.
And that's your kind of brand name that you chuck out there because for like your YouTube videos and stuff.
No, I just was at one point bored, had some stuff to say in Dutch, and it kind of went a little bit viral about 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It was when I was in uni. I was kind of annoyed by some Muslims just making it difficult for other Muslims to practice.
Mm-hmm.
So I just made a little rant video, and then it blew up, and I needed to give it a name, so I called it Muhammad's Opinion. I thought I don't want to go wrong. Alhamdulillah. I don't want to go wrong, so I said every time I say something good, I'll ascribe it to the Prophet, peace be upon him, because I'm talking about religion.
Yeah.
And every time I make a mistake, I'll be like, hey, that's my opinion. Like, why are you putting it on the religion like that? So I wanted to have like a safe space.
Nice. So you're originally born and brought up in Holland, in
No,
Dutchland.
not born in Holland. No.
Deutschland, in Somalia,
No, also not in Somalia.
in Sweden, England.
No.
I've got a question. Where
Yemen.
were you brought up?
I've been brought up in the Netherlands.
Yeah, in the Netherlands, like I just said, Sam. If you just keep your ears on the podcast, that'd be great.
And born, sorry?
I've been born in Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
Faisal, why were you saying Sweden, Somalia? Why, if you knew that, why were
He's
you
very
saying-
inconsiderate.
almost rude, some could say.
Yeah.
So,
Obsessed with himself.
Yeah. Anything
A
else,
little bit
guys?
of everything.
yeah, but we'll cover it later in the podcast.
Yeah.
But for now, more interesting. So you were born in Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
Fantastic. Tell us a bit about yourself. Go on. How
Um,
long did you live in Saudi Arabia for?
Literally, I didn't even live there. They don't even recognize me necessarily. What actually happened is I came early as a child. My parents were not expecting me. My father was doing Hajj, my mother was doing Umrah at the time.
Wow.
And I literally came too early, so they put my mom in a how would you say that necessarily? Kind of a coma, and then she delivered me almost unconsciously.
Serious?
Yeah,
SubhanAllah.
it was very, very weird. And then they truly saw immediately that there was something going on with my eyes.
Right.
My sister has the same thing, who was older than me, but not to a severe degree as I had. So they advised me, hey, try to bring your kids to Europe. They might be able to help you out. And at some point, my grandma used to work at the house of the Prime Minister's wife. So she became kind of friends with her, and she got only 3 visas for my mother, my sister, and me. So my father needed to stay behind, but then I could legally travel to Europe for medicinal reasons. And it kind of all started rolling from there. And after a couple of years, my father was allowed to come as well, and he gave me a permanent stay in the Netherlands. But it was easy at the time, and it was like 96. So the easy is, alhamdulillah, Allah has blessed me then with a stable situation.
Alhamdulillah.
Mashallah. So where exactly were you actually born? In a hospital? Or?
Yeah, no, National Hospital of Jeddah in Saudi Arabia. Yes.
Yeah. And how long were you? Then you and your family left Saudi Arabia almost instantly afterwards. Or?
Yeah, you could say like 2 months afterwards, because
Yeah.
I needed some time to chill. My mom couldn't travel immediately. There was no way to get there around by car, obviously, so they needed to go on a plane.
Yeah.
And it was kind of rough on her, although she says from all the pregnancies she has, my mom, alhamdulillah, got blessed with 8 children. So from all the pregnancies she has, she says this was the easiest delivery, because she almost doesn't remember nothing of it. But she obviously needs to take some time to cope with it, to chill. But immediately, as soon as they could travel, they traveled.
So before they were in Saudi Arabia. Where were they living before Saudi Arabia?
They lived in Djibouti. And Djibouti is basically Somalia, but also a recognized country on its own.
Is that their homeland?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Interesting. And then from there they went to Netherlands. Yeah.
Yes.
So it wasn't part of the plans to go to Netherlands, just
No.
for you.
It was
the sake of
literally
you.
the visa they got for us.
Yeah.
They hooked us up with, and made it easy though, because then you don't need to go through the hoops of doing everything illegal. And sometimes people are forced to do that for dire situations, especially when your kids' eyesight or their future in any way, shape, or form could be compromised. You're willing to do a lot. And that program is just so much and so long and so tiring. So we literally took the first opportunity we could.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Is it both so out of the 8 children, it's just yourself and your older sister who suffer from partial blindness.
Yeah, from the 8 kids, 3 of them suffer from it. Let's say the eldest one and the youngest one, and me then. But they both have a less severe version of it, and we all could cope with it quite a lot because the good thing is if you have a child that is in any way, shape, or form disabled, or I would rather say a child that has special needs, that is more suiting. Then it's very wise to have a big family. Because the other ones will make sure that they don't, in any way, shape, or form, stay behind, right? In their mental understanding and what is normal in society. They can conform. Yeah. They don't feel left out. They can make friends. Whatever, It's a good handle to grasp on. Because otherwise, if you don't, I'll give you an example. Yeah, I lived for some time with people with the same type of illness that I have, still same type of eye disease that I have, but they were like majority of them was white. Because they were living in the safe space, they were not grown up, and I was the only one who had like outside interaction, right? My family and whatnot. Yeah. So if I would so to say watch SpongeBob when I'm 18 years old and be excited for that, they'll laugh at me. They'll make sure that you don't become alienated to the point that you totally are weirded out by everything that is society.
Because I remember we did an episode of The Next Phase, didn't we, last year?
Yeah.
And we spoke a lot about kind of your whole life on there.
Let's speak about that for a second.
It might be a bit repetitive.
Hold up though.
Go on.
Because you asked me to go on your podcast, and literally 2 weeks later you killed it. Like, what was that about?
Mohamed, you just don't bring in the views. No joking. The podcast wasn't going well. We spoke about, but alhamdulillah, Allah has blessed me with such a more beautiful platform. He blessed me with Sam in my life.
Alhamdulillah.
So Sam, I'm so thankful to Allah for even like bringing Sam into my life, to be honest. But so, this podcast you might find a bit repetitive. Like in relation to The Next Phase, but bear in mind this has got like a lot more viewers and a new amount of viewers, so they wouldn't know your story at all.
No, but that's all right. That's all right.
So we mentioned last year. Then you've actually been told by doctors that you're 99% blind.
Yeah.
So and you can see in 1% in one eye.
Right, my left eye. Yeah.
But I was saying that I have hands down, and this is me kind of telling Sam as well, because Sam, you've never met Mohamed.
No.
And if you spend a day with Mohamed, bro, he's more independent than someone who has 100% vision. Like the most independent person. Like and this is me coming from ignorant Faisal. Yeah, so me being ignorant, bro. Like I'd never been around blind people myself properly. Like at all. Yeah. Right. So when I became friends with Mohamed, it was the first time I was like interacting with someone who was blind, and this was someone who has severe, has it to like quite a
99%.
Right.
Serious, yeah.
Yeah.
So can I just ask, what's visually how does that 1%? How do you put together such a nice outfit, mashallah?
Appreciate the love. That was mainly Julian's doing. He helps me out a lot as well.
Right.
When it comes to how clothes pair, because obviously as fashion is something that I was not really conscious about and into. Mm-hmm. I didn't really grasp. Let's say the role it plays in society, because I don't really see it that much. I just see, okay, you got people who love brands and put money on, that's just their hobby, right?
Yeah.
But he made me understand, no, you don't need to be excessive in your spending. You just need to have like a couple of things that work together.
Yeah.
So the science of it, so to say, he taught me in that sense. Alhamdulillah, that's why it looks kind of all right.
Yeah.
But before, I used to have very unnecessarily baggy clothing, very, very baggy pants. I was just not aware of it, not conscious of it. That's why I'm saying it's very healthy to have a lot of siblings, so they can guide you through society in that sense.
So as I was,
when you say what does 1% of eyesight look like? What can you obviously you're getting about and everything,
right?
I mean, I if someone would tell me that even someone's 50% blind, I would have thought would be really difficult to get about. So what kind of visually can you kind of see?
Well, basically it comes down to this, At one point, a couple of GPs, so to say, doctors, they took a bunch of people from society, let's say even 2,000-3,000 people, from all classes, all ages, all backgrounds. Yeah. They let them do some tests with the optician, and they said the general vision they have, we take that as a bar and we call it 100%.
Right.
So there are people who are above the bar, people who are below the bar.
Right.
Being below the bar does not necessarily mean that you can't really see that well. You got people who have like 90% vision. That's perfectly fine.
Right.
To drive, you need to have with one eye at least 55 or 54 sometimes even percent vision. So it's not even that you need that much. But let's say from what a general person can see, I can see 1% of what they can see. That's literally it. Wow. And then we're talking about depth, we're talking about detail, we're talking about color, we're talking about what do you call that? overview.
Yeah.
All of these factors.
Yeah.
Let's say I just see on depth and distance and detail, I can see on those points 1%. But when it comes to overview and colors and contrast, that's for me fine. Alhamdulillah.
Right. Mashallah. Okay.
But what, like I said before, like the level of independence you have, for those of you those listeners who have never met you or had the honor of spending time with you, you film and edit your own videos. You're obsessed with Apple, and you have like almost every Apple product, and you cater it to your special needs. So like I remember when the iPad Pro first came out and I was still working there, and you was bugging me. You flew all the way from Holland just to come down to get it off me. And like you just customize it straight away. Like you didn't even let me set it up for you. You wanted to set it up for yourself. And like I've probably still got that vlog on my YouTube. And like and you know, you text, you phone call, and aside from technology, you know, it's crazy because when I first met Mohamed, Sam, I was like, when we was at Crossing Road, for example, I'd be like, yo, there's a pavement here, like step down. And a lot of the times Mohamed doesn't even need to be told. Do you know what I mean? Like you can, like, obviously there's certain times where you just want to say something just in case. But like, for example, like I remember last time I was saying to him, how did you like climb the stairs and like you never fall? And he was talking to me about how you were saying that the yellow line in it, you could like and stuff.
Sometimes they have like on the beginning and the end of stairs, they have like this marking. You guys, you see it, but then again, you don't pay attention to it, right? It's these small little things that they teach you as well, although they're not consistent with it. So I would say when it comes to stairs, the easiest benchmark, so to say, is the railing. You know, there's no need for railing to go like, how do you say that, like style upwards. If there's no more stairs, it doesn't make any sense. So then it will become flat immediately. Then that's a good indication. So that's what those things like yellow lines and whatnot. Alhamdulillah, if they pay attention to it and the area has it, it's very useful. But I personally don't rely on that. I look for common sense tools. For example, you know, if you go and want to cross the street, you can cross in the middle of the street, or you can go just to the end of the street, and at the end of the street you usually just have traffic lights, and it makes it easier for you, and then you can listen to the sounds and all of this stuff basically. You know, look for the most normal stuff that is not necessarily there for your special need. That's the best way for you to get to function in society. Because you're not dependent on that thing.
To put it in perspective to those listening to Sam, because of what he asked earlier, I know you've explained it to me properly before. When he asked like, how much you can see, literally, right now, for example, how far can you see before it gets bad?
Well, it doesn't get bad for me, because can you see behind you?
No.
Do you feel impaired by that?
No.
Same goes for me. Like, what I can see is just all that I'm supposed to see in my understanding. You get me? So I don't feel like I'm missing out. But to give you an indication, from now I can see your hat, I can see the way you're sitting, but I can't see your eyes, nor can I see your mouth, nor can I see your nose and say, So I see genuinely, I can clearly see the color of your clothes. I can clearly see the color of your skin. I can clearly see like the emblems on your hat and even the text here. Can't read it. Can't really make it out to be.
But you can see there's text.
Exactly. So I can see a bit of Lambarik as well. So
Alhamdulillah.
That's it.
MashaAllah. So it's something you've been born with. So it's not like you've ever known anything different.
No.
Do you ever find yourself complaining about it?
Only when I need to depend on people too much. Yes, that's something I really, really dislike. I dislike the situation that I almost need to beg people. Let's say I really need to do something for my parents, and out of love for them and respect for them, I really want to get that done. But now I'm dependent because of distance on someone to drive me. Then it really, really annoys me that I can't just, get someone's car and drive myself, or just buy my own car, because I'm legally not allowed to drive. So then I need to ask 20 people, please, can you give me a ride, and offer this and offer that. It just, on moments like that, it really, 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 really gets to me. Not in a way that I become complacent, but it just annoys me.
It affects your independence, which can be frustrating.
That's very annoying. Very annoying. Imagine you need permission from anyone to get in your car, and without that permission, you're not allowed to get in. Not only that, you can't. You know you can't. It's just annoying. Makes everything so long.
Of course. And what do you do do you work?
I'm a student currently at the university. I study theology, and I'm studying psychology this year as well. So I'm doing both bachelor degrees now.
Really?
Yeah, and focusing on that.
And you study in Holland, yeah?
Yeah.
Whereabouts? And teaches Quran as well.
In Rotterdam.
In Rotterdam?
Yes.
You teach Quran as well, don't you?
Not anymore.
Oh,
no.
you stopped that now?
Yeah, because of the studies being a bit like. It's actually piling up now. So
Okay,
I'm doing
right.
other stuff at the masjid, and I got other stuff assigned because the kids, they also, I taught them what I can teach them, and now it's time for other people to move on, because it's with our masjid, we don't really just focus on, okay, we want to make you a memory card about memorization. There's no point. So
Right.
they now had like 2 years or 3 years even to focus on memorization with me, basic memorization for the salah, what they need. And now it's time for someone to teach them manners, and again, a bit older. So at one point, you also need to think about questions about specifically to the agenda. You need to consider all of these factors, and now it's time for someone else to take charge, inshallah.
How's it been growing up in the Netherlands?
Very comfortable. I like it a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah,
Sam, you've been
definitely.
to the Netherlands about 12 times, I
Big
think.
fan, yeah.
Yeah.
You like it, yeah?
I really, really love it, man.
Where'd you go?
Just always Amsterdam, always
Mhm.
Amsterdam. But when I was very, very young, it was always just flying to Amsterdam
Right.
and spend some time in Amsterdam
Yeah.
city centre.
Mm-hmm.
But last year, alhamdulillah, after Eid, I actually took my wife and child to Amsterdam. I hadn't been there since the times of Jahiliyyah.
Yeah.
So obviously it was a different motive, but it
Yeah.
was still like the love of that place is
Right.
just, is gorgeous. Like, it has an effect on me. The architecture
mhm.
and canals, everything beautiful.
It's lovely.
I would really love to have a business in Amsterdam. It's a real dream of mine. I'd love to be involved in Amsterdam. I think it's beautiful, and Rotterdam as well. How are you near Amsterdam?
Yeah, I'm about, with the train, maybe 40 minutes away, so it's very, very
Okay,
close to me.
mashallah.
To say,
Yeah.
even my house, maybe 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I live in Rotterdam. If you would ask me, I would say, when it comes to the vibes,
Yeah.
I really, really prefer Rotterdam,
Yeah.
just because of the mentality of the people.
Yeah.
Because Amsterdam, it really makes you feel like a tourist.
It's touristy, isn't it?
So yeah. It's like basically you being in central London 24/7. At one point, you just want to go back to normal London.
Yeah,
you want to get away from Edgware Road. You want to get
Yeah,
away
of course.
from
It is-
Leicester Square.
Yeah, for sure.
But having a business in Amsterdam is not really that difficult, especially
No.
not when you are focusing on stuff like you're doing with 59.
Yeah.
You could easily do something like that.
Yeah.
It's very, very feasible.
There's quite a good barbering scene there as well.
Yeah,
There is a barbering scene, but I think they're lacking a little bit. We've been invited out there a few times.
Like a
Right.
bit men's spoil.
I think so.
Let's be honest.
But maybe, inshallah, maybe we'll have something there.
Speaking of 59, Mohamed, as well as being, there's three things that I know you're extremely passionate about.
Wow.
One of them is Islam.
Yes.
The other one is Apple.
Technology, you'd
Yeah,
say.
well,
Not
technology,
only Apple,
but
because
you're
there are other
definitely
companies.
you're into your Apple product.
Because
Right now, they're the best in the game.
no, they just pay attention to detail what other people just lack. That's what I appreciate.
Okay, fine. And then the third thing, you know what I'm going to say?
100% coffee.
Coffee.
It's nothing.
Sam, I would say Mohammed is more obsessed with coffee than me and you.
Yeah.
And that's a tough thing to go by.
Yeah.
Obsessed.
Really?
Yeah.
Proper.
And just like you, he also is a big advocate of the Nespresso machine as well.
100%.
Yeah.
What else can you drink at home but Nespresso?
Yeah, no doubt.
For home
definitely.
stuff anyway.
For
obviously.
home,
100%.
100%.
100%. I really rate an espresso. I say to the brother to the left of you that I'm gonna at the right time he's gonna get an espresso, because I think the the pods.
Yeah.
What is it?
Bro, those machines keep breaking as well.
Tassimo.
We go through about 3 of them.
Yeah.
It's not
I think
only
it's fake. I
that.
think it's like you said yesterday.
Yeah,
It tasted
yeah.
almost too last week. Sorry, like too fake, and the milks were a bit too fake and stuff. And Nespresso is great because you can just have and literally bang an espresso. It's beautiful.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you ever have a shot of espresso?
Never.
Always, man.
Yeah, Mohammed does.
You never do. Yeah.
No.
So oh, beautiful, man. Let that just knock that back. Let it. Oh, beautiful. I've got a lot of time for a little espresso, bro.
But I'm glad we
How
both
can
enjoy
you
his
not have
coffee,
espresso
bruv.
in
I
your
like a
life?
nice large American
You know
coffee.
your routine in the morning.
Yeah.
You could
Half
lock off the latte,
Yeah.
lock off all that milk or
Right.
whatever you're gonna have,
All
and
those calories
just
can
have
be gone.
all the
But I
calories.
can't have an espresso because I don't have an espresso machine.
We'll get you one,
Inshallah.
Listen,
inshallah.
now
I told
I'm-
you when you'll get it. Inshallah, you'll get it. But
Eid
was
al-Adha. Oh my gosh, Sam, no.
when you get-
Really?
when you get a house.
Inshallah.
maybe
That's a
before,
setback.
maybe before.
Oh man.
Because you would avoid all the dairy. You can bang that off and you
Yeah,
go do your
it's
routine.
true, it's
It would save a lot.
I'll
It would save a lot of
get
time.
freshly guided on time.
Not
as well.
only
yeah.
that, bro. The thing is, with these lattes that you drink and all these American coffees and whatnot, the majority of the things that you get in are like just milk or water. It's just diluted coffee.
Right.
So it's more placebo for you than actually your body taking in proper caffeine and actually having a shot. You get me?
So they say that anything above this size is bad for the coffee. You dilute the coffee. So this is a flat white, and this is
Right.
an 8 ounce cup. Anything more than this, you're actually affecting the quality of coffee. That's an official. So obviously, you can have more milk. People like more milk and stuff. I'm not saying that if you have anything more than that, but that's how technically a coffee should be.
Right.
For me, it's more so just the fact that I enjoy having. I like the taste of coffee. I like the effect it gives me, and I like having a large coffee that can sip throughout a long period of time.
Do you like a milk? You prefer a bit more of a milky coffee?
Well,
though?
yeah, but I haven't had milk in so long now. Well, about a week,
but
2 weeks.
obviously you've got you
oat milk.
prefer
This is
the feeling of the kind of the creaminess.
Correct. Yeah.
If you do, then also pay attention when it comes to I'm looking for the word. Let's say if you have a latte, let's say it's 2 or 3 times the size of this cup, right?
Yeah.
That you also make sure that the espresso that you mix with the latte usually, right? Because that's what they do. They always put in a shot of espresso, and then it depends on how you add the milk before or after, or how much foam or whatever, yeah, for the lattes. That you also put like an extra shot in there. Maybe then you could balance it out. You get me?
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
My guy. Mohamed, remember last time we did I think maybe a vlog together, or I think it was the episode of the next phase that we did. The amount of comments that said like, either like, oh, the way Faisal you treat Mohamed is like, it's just absolutely like so rude, like the way you bully him, blah, blah, blah. And then like, or some of the comments are like, oh, the way you and Musa bully Mohamed, all this kind of stuff,
do.
And then hold on for a second,
What, you're gonna censor me now?
Me and Mohamed were gonna make an emotional interview about that actually. But anyway, if you got the guys who wrote that, if they knew the relationship that we have with Mohamed, it's like me, Musa, and Mello, for example. If you were to just like in a snippet, like just see a snippet of me, Musa, and Mello, and Ali actually as well with Mohamed, you'd think
don't put Ali in there, man. Ali doesn't do that.
Really?
No.
Me, Musa. Yes, he does.
No, he doesn't.
Me, Musa, and Mello. Me, Musa,
Fair enough. You three.
If you saw our relationship with Mohamed, for like a 10 seconds, you'd be like, "Right, them guys just bully Mohamed, bruv." Like so, but you don't understand the relationship we have here. Mohamed bullies us to our next degree, and no one sees it. He gets away with it.
Lies upon
It's
lies.
so funny, bro. Like, but alhamdulillah, we have a beautiful relationship. Like, I could never ever say or do anything that would genuinely I would want to hurt Mohamed, like ever. Like, he's one of the most purest souls I've ever met. But if you watch the nature of relationship we have here, it's literally just back and forth roasting each other.
From your perspective,
and now he's gonna say this. He's saying this now on purpose, so that I can still.
I'm just asking, have you actually reviewed the relationship that we all have, or is it just your perspective that you're actually putting down as the status quo right now?
I think.
How would you say it is, Mohamed?
I would say.
Be honest, though. Be honest, bro.
Me and Faisal. Let me just keep it to us right now, because the other guys are not here to defend themselves. I get them like on another platform someday. But me and Faisal, we're not really friends, nor are we necessarily enemies. We just cope, innit? We can deal.
How long have you guys known each other?
How long have we known each other? I've had the some would say blessing, some would say the opposite of living with him in a hotel room.
You lived together?
Only in a hotel room.
How long for?
A couple of days.
Oh, should I tell you a story about
I travelled with him.
Should I tell you about? Wow. Okay, we'll do
you
that.
live with me, but Sam, you see my moody side.
They say when
right?
you travel with someone, you really, really get to know them.
I got to know Faisal.
Sam,
Yeah,
you seen my moody side, didn't it?
Yeah.
Mohamed saw it as well when he travelled with me.
Let me address that. Bro.
That's dangerous.
Mohamed, don't sting man on camera on mic though, bro. Yo, Mohamed come up to me. Yo, listen, Mohamed come up to me when we're travelling. He goes, Faisal, you know what? I want to tell you something. I know what he's like. I just find it so beautiful how like you. What did you say? You said something like you like party, but in a beautiful way.
Sorry, no. You ruined it now. You ruined it now.
Go.
Wait. Because let's be honest here. Yeah. I'm gonna give you a look at my perspective right from that day.
Habibi.
So he was sharing a room with another brother.
Who was I sharing a room with?
With Mello.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And I was with Ali and Wasim sharing another room in Travelodge Hotels. And we needed to wait a couple of hours before we could go to our destination, whatever we had to do that day. So Faisal was in the toilet, which is also the bathroom in Travelodge. And the walls are very, very thin in Travelodge. So I don't know who, but someone knocked on the room next to us. But that makes, in turn, also the door of the toilet kind of...
I don't remember this.
How'd you say that?
Ricochet?
Yeah.
Where was it? Nottingham?
It was shaking.
Yeah.
No. It was in Leicester.
Oh, yeah.
So, what happened was, Faisal was like, who the hell is doing that? Why are you doing that? Papa having a go at literally no one, you know?
So I was having my toilet time in the morning.
He came out and he's just looking like, is any of you doing that? And me, I was just lying on his bed. Melo was lying on another bed, you know, just chilling there. Like, what the hell's been going on? And at one point, the brother took my key, yeah? And the brother gave me his room key and took my room key. I just thought I had my own room key, right? So Faisal just walks up to me, bro, this is not funny. I just want to have my key back, please. I can't access my room properly. This, that. I'm like, what? No, stop playing with jokes. Melo told me.
Bro.
For no reason, it escalated, but it was funny, man. Because the thing is about Faisal, he can get like very upset in a second, but very happy the next, you know. And that really doesn't make it like last long. He doesn't really hold a grudge in that sense, so it makes it easy.
You paint a really bad picture of me now, Mohamed.
Well, I'm just painting the truth.
Quite accurate, I would say.
Can't deal with it.
So you can get very angry and very moody quickly, but also very happy and excited
jolly,
quickly.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
I've seen both sides.
How does your wife cope with you? Because now you've been living a couple of months.
Alhamdulillah, I have
together,
an
right?
extremely patient wife.
Uh-huh.
Allah has blessed me with a very, very patient wife. So
Mashallah.
It's always the people like that who've got the most to give as well, though, man. Do you know what I mean? Like myself, Faisal, we're not perfect. We've got lots of problems.
I mean that as well, man.
When it's good, we do try and give so much to people around us.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? But we're real. Those people around us would probably say they're real hard work at the same time. I think when it's good, it's really good.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's always the people who are pain and always difficult to deal with. There's always a lot of goodness that you kind of
Right.
You do you know what I mean? You always see through that negativity. I know that. I know people. They've got lots of, I'm not going to say bad traits necessarily, but they have lots of issues, like the brother to the left of you, lots of mood swings, etc. But there's so much goodness as well. You kind of look past it, you forget it. Do you know what I mean?
Should I tell you a way to cope with it? Yeah. Should I give you a piece of advice?
Yeah.
Please.
When you stand on both feet upright, wobble from your left feet onto your right feet. Just do that for a couple of seconds. It literally calms you down.
Really?
It is so comfortable at one point. You just
calms you
forget. Yeah. You just forget why you're upset.
That's a new one for us.
Just to do this, literally wobble
Back
from
and
left to
forth?
right. No, from left to right.
Left to right.
Yeah.
I've not seen you get extremely angry, Mohamed. I think I have once or twice, but it's generally like, I think rudeness gets to you, doesn't it?
Rudeness and lack of attention when it comes to appreciating someone's time. When someone doesn't appreciate my time, I truly feel they don't appreciate me. Do you get me? Making you wait like 6-7 hours for no reason, literally no reason, just because they're just taking long. I can't take that. I just really can't take that.
Yeah.
But
So
otherwise,
it made you wait 6 or 7 hours?
yeah, sometimes
Nah.
it's just because. Imagine you're traveling. Like it's not that you can just go home and be like, "I'll ban you lot." You know, you're in a different country.
Yeah.
You kind of dependent. You get me in that sense.
Course.
So on those moments, but also, I don't know how it is for you, like, when the Somali community, parents make you do literally everything, man. I've been sent to the other side of the country just to deliver a little bit of jewelry, which you could easily just send via post, but I don't trust the post, man. It's jewelry, yalla, go. So I go there to the station, and this lady really wants to like dress up because she's my mom's friend. She really want to dress up for this wedding. Made me wait at the station for 2 hours. That literally, I almost left. I said, if you're not here in 5 minutes, I respect you as my auntie. I've been waiting the 2 hours, but then I'm gone. I'm out. I don't see a reason to stay. Why should I stay?
Yeah, subhanAllah.
You know?
Time is a very precious thing.
Exactly. You don't get it back, bro. Money you can make. You can't make time.
It's true.
Very, 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 very true.
Do you find yourself wasting much time? Do you ever fall into that?
Yeah.
I think we all do, don't we?
Yeah, definitely. But I think that is the one thing that hurts our mental well-being the most.
What, wasting time?
No, not having anything that you could dedicate in time. Basically, maybe a job or your studies. if anything that consumes time in your life falls apart, that results in wasting time or empty time you don't know what to do with. It's not necessarily that you are being procrastinating, but you just don't know what to do with it. That really has an effect on you mentally. You'll get depressed. You'll feel a bit like rubbish. You won't have joy out of anything. You start to sweat a lot. It's generally like all of these signs have to do with you just not having a rhythm anymore.
So what's the advice to people who feel like they've got that spare time in their week and they feel like they're not maybe making the most of their week? They're not capitalizing on their time? What are you saying?
I would say, it's this very conventional idea of working 5 days, 9 to 5, and the other 2 days you're off. I would say, how about you spread it all over the week? Because why should you have 2 days every week? It's literally empty. If you don't have a family, I don't see no reason for it. I truly don't.
Yeah.
Because what you're going to do, either you hang out here or you hang out there. You just find that you always waste the morning of the weekends if you're not married. You always have bad breakfast or you just go out somewhere, whatever. How about you put in a little bit of work, you use those mornings, so you have on other afternoons a bit more time to chill, you know? Just divide the work. That's what I would say.
Do you see yourself moving to the UK anytime soon, bro? I know you've had the intention for a while.
Yeah, but then I really reconsidered.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I just don't see it happening. Number one, it's just because
You got such beautiful friends here,
Mm,
like me.
moving swiftly on. You know what it is? Yeah, like I'm very comfortable where I live right now.
Yeah.
I have a sense of purpose. I can add to my community. It's not even my own life, but I can have an influence on my neighborhood and on my masjid and on my people around me. And I really know who I can cater to and to make their life a bit more easy in that sense, which in turn also adds value to my life. And I will feel that I will lose some of my identity if I come to a completely new space where there's already so much going on. You guys already build a lot here, you know? Every 20 minutes with my car in London, you have a mosque.
Yeah.
What's the point? Like, for me, it kind of makes it boring, you get me? Like, I have now so much stuff to do to make it interesting for the people and whatnot. Events. Here, every weekend, you're flipping 20 speakers speaking about beautiful stuff, and which is amazing. But it's just, like, I want to be the one who's still very, very on the bleeding edge in that sense.
Do you feel as though you have a sense of responsibility in Rotterdam or in Holland, to Islam and to kind of help push it and in the Dawah? Because I know you're quite a big character in Holland,
Right.
You have a fairly big
relatively.
following in the Dawah in Holland.
Right.
Do you feel like that's the responsibility that you need to maintain?
No, I think that you have some people who have very, very good qualities to lead people.
Yeah.
And number one is patience, and number two is perspective. Some people you need to be rough and tough with, because you just need to tell them, hey, listen, stop, with all due respect, trying to work your way up. Just chill and be effective and be useful. This is good for you. I'm not the one who possesses these qualities. I'm not patient enough, and I'm way too soft with people. So I'm not a leader.
I'd consider you very patient.
Yeah, well, then again, even if that's so, I lack in other quality. I cannot really be rough and tough when when you really need to be. And a leader needs to just tell people off. Let me give you a parable, yeah? You know, when you are a camel herder, like the Arabs, if you look down whilst your camels are looking at you, they'll flip and eat you.
What do they see? That's
They'll
a sign
see
of
weakness, yes.
Really?
A camel herder needs to have some sense of arrogance. Otherwise, the camel will just not take it from him. That's why they're rough and tough. That's why they're just very, very unemotional. They barely kiss their own moms, you know? It's just not in their nature. They're brought up in this atmosphere like, listen, I need to be strong because I got all of these massive creatures with me that can actually kill me. If you by yourself are taking care of flipping 20 camels, you know what they can do to you?
What?
In an instant, you'll be done, man. You'll be done. Have you ever seen a camel attacking someone?
I've heard that apparently, I don't want to say this if it's, I don't want to say it because it might not be true, but I'm sure I've heard, is it that you can pray, like, because you can obviously use different things as sutras, you can even, you could even use an animal, like, if you're for example I don't want to say it because I want to.
You're not using an animal for a sutra.
Sorry?
What were you going to say? You started that sentence saying, "I don't want to say this because I'm not sure if it's true."
No. I know. Because I can tell you the exact class I listened to it in.
Yeah.
But I don't want to say it without giving the reference points that the Sheikh gave. But praying essentially, I know that that point is irrelevant for the thing I was going to say. The thing I was going to say is that you can't pray. I don't know if it's around camels or something, but there's something to do with praying and being in the presence of camels, in a sense, because camels have this nature that they can just switch on. Even if they've been loyal to you for 20 years, they can just switch on you for no reason and attack you.
Even it's recommended to when you eat camel meat to do wudu, you know?
Yeah.
Because Prophet said in a narration that the camel has a shaitan with him.
Right.
Just like you and I have a qareen with us, you know, just like we have some influence with us. But with the camels, they're just big creatures. They're powerful, they're effective, they're very useful. And the moment you put them down and put them in their place, they're very loyal to you and they do good work. You know, it's not like this is some horrible creature. I'm just saying sometimes you need to be the same with some people. Some people really need some tenderness, some attention, some understanding, and other people need to be put in their place. So I'm just not that leader. I just don't want to be that personally. I have not developed these qualities yet. So now what I'm doing in the Netherlands is I can really be effective in the background. You know, help them properly out with structure, help them out with maybe my vision, my advice, and I'm a good follower maybe that's not even the right wording. I'm a good assistant right now, and that's the place I feel comfortable and I think I'm useful.
I wouldn't underestimate myself though, bro, because you're definitely much more than an assistant. I would say
as of now though, but because the people are older than me, they're more experienced than me. Like I'm learning a lot. You know?
Yeah.
I'm learning a lot. As long as there's no need for me to take that responsibility, why should I?
But
you're fitting yourself into the perfect part of the team that you're in.
Right. Because if everybody is just a good leader, but no one is a good follower and a good assistant, then what's the point?
Even the best of leaders know when to be led.
Right,
you know
exactly.
That? Exactly, yeah.
That's a good one, man.
That's exactly it. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, look, I think me and Faisal discussed this about just learning your place in a group and a team.
Yeah.
And also the expression too many chiefs, not enough Indians. Do you know what I mean? Everyone thinks they're the chief. Everyone thinks they're the top Indian, but everyone needs to understand that in a team there's levels and
definitely
learn your place there. You're right.
Definitely.
You're right.
Have you been to Speaker's Corner much while you've been in London?
I've been once, and I haven't been there in 6-7 months. And
no, I mean this time when you came to London. Have you been to Speaker's Corner?
Yeah, I've been there once. I've been there once since I've been here, the last couple of days. But I haven't went for 6-7 months. It's just the same place, same people, same stories. Like, come on.
I love going to Speaker's Corner with you though, because we'll go to Speaker's Corner for a second, and then I turn around like, where's Mohamed? And you're just on the other side, like having this massive debate with someone, and like you got a crowd of people around you. I'm like, oh, Mohamed's gone again. Mashallah, man.
It's became more of a TV show now. You know what it is? Like, do you guys know Super Hot Fire? Like
last time I was there with you was about a year ago though.
Right. That was the first time I got. Then it was still fun for me. It was all new. It was all these new ideas. I genuinely had like good. I thought everybody was no. It didn't need my attention. I generally had a good understanding about the people. I thought everybody's just here because they're convinced of their point. They don't just want to debate for sakes, you know. It's because this idea used to originate from the Muslims in Cordoba, in one of the biggest masajids there. That they used to allow people to come with different philosophies, different ideas, and you would have mashayikh, proper students of knowledge, sitting there and talking to people. Even Sheikh Albani, rahimahullah, you know, when people used to come to him asking about affairs of the UK, he would ask them, but who has made you representative? You know, kind of breaking people down, breaking the ideas down, looking at the premise. Honestly, that just to interact and to swap out ideas, to give someone food for thought. Speaker's Corner is more of a show. They all have their own crowds with them. That's what I experienced. People come there as a genuine audience for that person, so they can all say, "Oh," when they made a good point. And I'm like, nah, I'm not having that. I'm just not having that.
So you think it's become a bit too, like, not commercialized, but it's become more entertainment based as opposed to people genuinely debating what they believe is right spiritually?
Well, it's not even about what I'm thinking. It's more about what you can see. Imagine every time you go somewhere which is a public space where supposedly people come to hang out because it's a park. You always see the same crowd with the same type of people always saying the same thing. And then no one came with anything new. Literally no one. Then you know that there's no benefit necessarily there staying there because the crowd ain't gonna change anyways. You know, and especially when people have this arrogance around them, Muslims just as much as non-Muslims. Don't get me wrong, there's no difference in that, right? If you are convinced of your ideas, you are almost never gonna accept anything that challenges your ideas in public. It's just human nature,
of course.
So why should we expect that from the other side?
Would you still go down there?
Yes, but not
to give dawah or just
no. Literally, the only thing that I would do there is learn how to speak. You know,
you do end up giving dawah because people will ask your opinion and stuff, innit?
Yeah, I don't give it.
Yeah, fair.
I just don't give it. Like you got so many amazing people here in the UK you can go to. Why are you asking me? You know, on Snapchat, the majority of the people that watch my snaps are British because of you giving me a shout out and Ali giving me a shout out. You know, so the amount of questions, wallah, I get. What do you think of this and this person who said the student loan is? I said, listen, I don't live there. I don't know what you get. Our student loan, your student loan is different. You know, what are you gonna ask me? Okay, but But is it allowed to take from that? I said, listen, why concern yourself always with these polarizing questions? You know, it doesn't make you pious if you ask this. It actually makes you out to be very, very stupid and dumb. There was this one point in Islamic history where a group of Sahaba and another group of Sahaba were at war with each other.
Yeah.
Right? And Barakallah feek. One of them, Abdullah ibn Umar, the son of Umar radiallahu anhu, was asked, what do you think of both parties? He said, I have no opinion. And the person said to him, but Allah says in the Quran, this and this and this and this, and therefore you need to fight. He says, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also said, whoever intentionally harms a believer, then my punishment is severely on them. So I said, I'm more afraid of the punishment than on the little bit of reward you can get in trying to solve this case. I'd rather have peace with both and advise both just to stay back. I'm not here playing judge. Let Allah judge between them, you know? And that's very wise. Everybody these days, though, is just wondering, what is your opinion just for polarization? Oh, 20 people agree with Ali. 20 people agree with Faisal. Oh, you know, but Sam has a good point as well. Why, though? What's the benefit? What you gain from it? You don't become more knowledgeable. You forget that, and stuff like this kills your heart and kills Iman. Honestly. So yeah, the Speaker's Corner, literally, the only benefit you have from it is you'll learn how to phrase a argument, how to build upon the premise, how to find out why someone is thinking what they're thinking, but you look stupid because you're not on the defensive as they are.
Right.
You're just there to inquire. Yesterday I saw a video of someone recording me just asking, why do you think that? Oh, what can you tell me about this book? Oh, I haven't heard that. Oh, what does this mean? And the guy says, don't you know anything? I said, no, that's what I come to learn here. Tell me, you know? But I look very stupid on the video though. And the people in the comment section are like, oh, look at this blind brother. You shouldn't go there if you don't have any knowledge. It's just,
what was this? Was you there yesterday? The day before yesterday?
Yeah. That's the only time I went this time I was here.
Who'd you go with, Ali?
Yeah. And he was very busy. Ali again is recognized in that sense. And he has a role there. That's different. I'm not. So I don't want to be adding to the crowd. He speaks especially to people who come as well to him who have like doubts, you know, people who see him online and just have a way. I find that I can ask him a personal question. So for him, it's a different angle to play. But it's just funny, you know. It's just funny. If you honestly try to do something, you look like you're stupid. And if you're there for shows, you look like this amazing pop star, basically, you know. It's funny.
Did you go down there, Faisal?
No, the only times I've been down there have been like if I'm with Ali and then like I'll roll with him or like
is he there very regularly?
Yeah, he's there every week.
Every week.
That's where to catch Ali on Sunday. Yeah.
Mohamed Hijab there every week.
Yeah,
as well.
And so when I go there, I go and like my intention to go there is to say salam to the brothers. I really love Adnan Rashid.
Yeah.
So I'll drop
Is
salam
he
to
there
him,
all
give
the
him a hug. Yeah,
he goes as
mostly.
well.
I like Mohamed Hijab, you know, like it's nice, man. Like after they all go out for dinner, so you go out to dinner with the brothers. One time we went out for dinner with like we started Adnan, with Ali, with Mohamed Hijab. It just felt nice, man. The brothers having
it's very calm.
So for those reasons I go, but when I honestly I can count how many times I've been on one hand, and anytime I've been, I've never engaged myself in a debate. I'm too like not knowledgeable at all. I'm fearful how I represent our religion, to be honest. Like I'll make a really bad job of it. So I'd rather stay quiet. And you know, I'll listen to Ali, I'll listen to Ustad Adnan, but personally, this is my personal opinion, I don't find a lot of benefit in Speaker's Corner. I'd say that if you were going there with the intention of actually giving dawah, that's one benefit. Or the second benefit is if you're a lost person and you're going there, like then fine. I understand why those people go there.
I don't think that's the main reason. I think a lot of people go there because they have nothing else to do on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Do you think people go there with the wrong intention?
Oh, I'm not sure, man.
I've seen like beefs and stuff in videos and stuff.
I've seen beef stuff there. Apparently it gets a bit dark after like a certain time, but you know, anytime I've gone, we pray Maghrib there at the park and then we go. So I don't know. I'm not a fan of it. I don't enjoy going there at all.
I see some interesting debates. Mohamed Hijab with a gay guy, and then there was a group of three bisexual people.
Right,
very very interesting. Like how and like his wisdom, how he talks to people is. I find him like fascinating. But yeah, I don't really check it out too much anymore. Speaker's Corner. I think I see a lot of.
Have you been there, Sam?
No, I've never been there. My intention was when I first discovered what it was that I wanted to go down there. It seemed like exactly.
I'd advise you to go once. You need to go.
Yeah,
I'm not really feeling it. Like I've seen some like good debates. I've seen so much negativity. I wouldn't really want to be there representing.
There is
like,
a lot of negativity.
I see like fighting between Muslims and Christians and all this kind of stuff, and like
not only that, you
see a lot of like arguments between Muslims as well.
Muslims and Muslims, is it?
Yeah.
I think there's probably some goodness there. Mashallah, may Allah accept it from the goodness there, but not really my field, man.
Right.
Yeah,
I feel a bit out of my place.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think originally when I first discovered it, I really wanted to go there, and I kind of like felt like I'd want to be a bit more, not on the front line, but you are almost like representing your
But
religion.
bro,
Definitely.
you got to bear in mind that you
London, aren't
do a lot for your community, for Islam in your community of some Ummah. I mean, I feel like that's your but you do very well in giving da'wah in your community. Allahumma barik, and I think that Allah has given us all. Allah doesn't burden us all with more than He can handle. You know what I mean? So
I think it comes down to knowledge as well. I think if you're stepping over there, that you got
to have knowledge.
Really.
You get questions.
No,
you
wouldn't want to have a debate with someone and fall short, would you? Imagine
No,
that.
but you don't need. It doesn't need to be all about theology. It doesn't. You just need to phrase your questions right. Every time when Mohamed especially talks about touchy topics, like homosexuality or polygamy or whatever.
He does it with like in front of people who are openly gay and stuff. He does, doesn't he?
Yeah, but not only that, he comes from an academic perspective.
Yeah.
He will tell them straight to the face, put Islam to the side.
Yeah.
I'm not here to tell you Islamically, because for that we don't have a debate. I can just refer you to a book, we'll give you a statement, there you go, period. Talk is done. But just by you asking the right questions and using the framework of their logic, of logic by standards of Socrates or other great thinkers, right? You can have an interesting debate. So just for your development of general knowledge and general perspective, it's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful place.
And a lot of times Sheikh Taroni's there as well, isn't he? So like, if you need help with that knowledge-wise.
Yeah, Sheikh Mohamed is there as well. You got other people.
Moving on swiftly.
Okay.
Mohamed, we talk a lot about like health and well-being on this podcast,
Right.
And mashallah, Allahumma barik, mashallah, tabarakallah, recently you've lost a bit of weight.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking good, you're looking healthy, you're looking fit.
Barakallah fiqh.
Please tell us how you did it.
It's.
How much did you lose?
I think in the last 2 years, almost 15 kilos, man. Alhamdulillah. It's not like it's mind blowing. That it's not like.
No, but you look good, bro. You're looking a lot better than you last. Not that you were looking bad when you last came, but you could tell.
I go with me. Like I look more proportional in that sense.
Yeah, you look very good right now.
Yeah. So for me, let me, instead of me telling you, let me ask you 2 questions, because I listen to your podcast weekly, every week.
You listen, yeah?
Yeah, every week.
Alhamdulillah.
So now my question to you lot is, like, I don't feel when I go to gym that I am in any way, shape or form building muscles.
Right.
Especially, I want to focus on my chest. What would you recommend me to do?
You're asking 2 amateurs here.
You need to
honestly.
ask the brother to the left of you. Go on.
Nah,
Come on, man. We can see your videos that you're using tighter t-shirts. We see that.
I don't think the t-shirts are getting tight. I think the body is just getting bigger.
Is that
MashaAllah,
My
MashaAllah.
t-shirt's very baggy today, alhamdulillah. Bro, I don't have any knowledge when it comes to that kind of stuff, man. I tell you what
That's
I do.
where you hang out with
Ajmal, wasn't it?
Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua's best friend, Lats, and Ajmal. That's where you hang around with the most knowledgeable.
I do,
people
but
in the industry.
I do what they tell me.
So do what they've told you. Pass on to the brother.
Yes, please.
The
So
brother wants to build some chest. How do you do it?
So chest is one of my weakest things, but from what they tell me,
Right.
How
with
humble
chest,
he is, MashaAllah.
huh?
How humble you are.
If you guys could see his face.
With chest,
No, it's not true. To be fair, MashaAllah, you go to the gym regularly. You've got knowledge, so that's good.
from what they tell me, with chest,
From what you know.
if you, for example, let's say you bench press, right?
Right.
Because there are like some like industry standard things that people just know, stuff like bench press, like incline bench press.
Not everyone might know what a bench press is, bro. What is a bench press? Just so for the listeners and viewers who might not know what a bench press is.
I'm gonna tell you guys the most embarrassing thing in a second. Remind me of the bench press
Okay,
question in a
fine,
second.
fine.
Yeah, right. So
Bench press is what? When you lay down and you push
you lay
your weight
down
up.
and you push it right. So a lot of people don't realize that you use a lot of the triceps for bench press, right?
Yeah,
so in order to have a stronger chest, you also need to make sure you work your triceps so that you can push more. So for example, Ajmal, his weakest, even though you wouldn't think it, because by looking at him, his weakest like muscle group is his triceps.
What?
And
with those massive arms,
and that's Lats's. That's one of Lats's biggest strengths. So Lats actually benches more than Ajmal, but Ajmal actually has a stronger chest, but he can't lift as much on it. Does that make sense? So he has a bigger chest. Does that make sense? But because Lats has more... so what I'm trying to say is that, like, first of all, you have to always make sure you work in every aspect because everything helps each other. But, in regards to, like, me saying, like, high weights, low reps, high reps. Like, I don't know any of that, man. Honestly, they tell me what to do and I just do it. I follow it. So I couldn't.
You're doing really well then. You actually you're passing on some really good knowledge.
That's the most I get to know. Because imagine if I said to Mohamed now, yeah, bro, what you do is go to the gym, you do high weights, low reps. I don't even know what that does. I just do what they tell me, but honestly.
How regular do you go?
4 times a week.
And how many hours you spend there?
About 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
So about, let's say, 9 hours a week, yeah?
Yep.
We're just being all right then. And when it comes to your food, do you really watch it?
I didn't used to, now I do, alhamdulillah. So now I'll eat about 5 meals a day. Yes.
You do, yeah?
I eat about 5 meals a day now.
He only has 1 slice of cheese in his croissant in the morning rather than 2.
No, I still have bad food. But I'm trying to eat. But right now, my intention is to put on weight. So that's no excuse though. You shouldn't be eating bad food if you're trying to put on weight. You should be eating clean food. But I'm not very disciplined, so I'm still working on that.
Okay, now let me ask you this. Because I'm not really looking to be ribbed, so to say, right?
Right.
It's not really my thing. And I don't really have the time to commit to that in the long run.
Yeah.
I just want to look a bit more healthy, and I want to...
You look great, though.
No, but I want to look more healthy, and one of the things that I really want to focus on is a bit my chest. Just want to get that a bit more sturdy, you know? It will help you in lifting, and just general life will benefit you. Yeah. So would you say, for me, that I really need to then also watch my food like you, the way specifically have a diet for a gym and to go 4 days a week as well?
A good diet is never gonna be a negative thing. So I'd say first of all, why not? It can only help you. And second of all, even if you're just trying to build your chest, what you're trying to do is build muscle, right? And like, so if from the little knowledge I do know that if you try and get like if you get more protein in and stuff, obviously your muscle's gonna repair quicker. It's gonna aid your muscle growth and stuff like that. So it can only help if you do eat well and you eat foods that are high in protein. And like you know, if you have foods that are high in fat, for example, you're going to gain the wrong type of weight. So,
first and foremost, diet is the most important thing. We should we play it down because we've got a soft spot for bad things, but diet is so important and really everyone should be eating. Everyone should be very conscious of what they're eating. I don't think you should necessarily have to count calories, but I think everyone should be conscious of what you're eating because you don't want to fill your face with the wrong things because it has an effect on you long term. I started watching a documentary on Netflix last night.
Oh, please don't say that.
Yeah, but I'm not going to go into it.
Oh, no.
I don't know if you guys have watched it.
I can't because apparently if I do, I'm going to...
I know, it's going to change your life. Me and my missus have put it off.
There's so much controversy
I know. This is the thing because there's some very, very valuable points in it, yeah, but you can almost like, not argue it, but you can almost be like, come on. But there's like, there's talking about like, having one egg is like the equivalent of very bad things. Like it goes deep. It's good. I recommend people watching it. What the Health on Netflix. I haven't watched the full thing. You guys obviously haven't watched it. I think we should. I know I've been scared to watch it. I put it on last night.
I watched the whole thing twice even.
Oh, you watched it twice?
Yeah.
Oh, you have watched it. What's your opinion then? Too much?
I don't think it's a balanced perspective. That's all I'm saying.
Too much?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah. I think it is too much, but I'm not...
Do you watch it
I'm not downplaying anything. No, I watch it with...
Interesting though, isn't it?
It is, definitely. Don't get me wrong. Like, it opened my eyes, yeah? But they're always making it... You know what is? Yeah, I have this theory about like the food industry, right? The food industry is now so unstable and confusing, so you have no reason to whatsoever really concentrate on making some sense into it. Do you get me? So by confusion, they'll get you just to agree and to conform. That's what I think right now is the case. But then again, you have some people who just go next level, like these people, like what the hell? And you have other people who just disregard what they're saying, which is they're raising valid points.
I mean, what the Health generally is advising a vegan diet, isn't it? That's kind of the gist I got from. I haven't watched the whole thing, but
meat is bad and someone caused
and as is dairy. Basically, it's going to give you cancer, which is quite like when you're watching it, it's quite scary.
Yes.
My wife's sister is vegan. She runs the coffee shop, so I often hear her input and get her knowledge and understanding why she doesn't have certain things. I definitely think veganism, there is so much benefit there, and it generally is healthier. I don't think for me it's practically something I could really implement in my life. I think there's certain things I couldn't do.
Right.
But I think from our understanding, from the times we live in now, meat is no good for you, in the sense that yes, obviously it's halal, but there's how it's mass produced isn't good now. How even fish is mass produced, and these fish farms, and there's everything how they're actually produced now is it's not obviously how maybe Allah planned in the sense that
Right. They're tampering with it.
it's tampered way too much. Obviously, man has come in, greed has come in, and has done something which is very
Globalization,
natural and
Sped
very
up the
beautiful.
process.
Have just mashed it up. So what we're having now, although yes, technically it's halal, would it really be like if Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam were to evaluate the condition of our meat and how our meat is sourced and farmed now, would it even be halal? Because it's not done in almost the correct way how it should be. And
That's
the same for dairy as well. Like dairy, like is proven like it's no good for us. Too much of it is deadly. But very much it's promoted that when we're young that you're supposed to have milk. It's
The milk industry really got us.
It did big time. And then now we're all sitting here drinking our coffees with oat milk. Do you know what I mean? We don't have we avoid it. You know what I mean? This is it. We're conscious to why it's not good for us. But I think if everyone was more conscious about even the meat and everything, I think majority of people would be vegan because it is definitely much better for us. But I can't see myself ever at the minute claiming that I am vegan and really implementing it strictly into my lifestyle.
It's funny that
Does
you
make
say
sense?
that. No, it's funny that you say that because I know a couple of brothers in the UK and in the Netherlands who watch What's the Health and just cut it all off.
Yeah.
Literally 3 days and they start eating meat again.
Really?
Like, it's just.
Musa eating meat yet?
I'm not here to speak about individuals.
No way!
I'm not saying he has. No, I'm not saying he hasn't.
No
But
worries, I'm gonna ring him and find out.
No, but I
after.
literally have no idea, to be honest. But I know of other brothers who immediately, like after a couple of days, it's almost not like, you know what it is, yeah? When people want to make big life decisions and especially life adjustments in a second based on a couple of arguments which they barely understood, it's not really convincing to themselves and their surroundings.
That's correct.
So don't make it out to be a joke. Honestly, consider the points that they're raising and see how if you even in the slightest can adjust your lifestyle. That's effective, you know. Don't always jump too big and too high.
That's the thing. I've known a few people who who became vegetarian.
Yeah.
They're not vegetarian now.
Right.
It was almost very, very short lived. And I'm not criticizing it because I think you understand and you start learning a bit of knowledge on nutrition, etc. And you do want to say, I'm this, I'm that, and make these big life decisions. But it's almost like if you think that what you're learning about is got value and can change your life for the better, almost like implement it slowly. And let it be a slow process and like slowly change your life up. It's the same as implementing Islam into your life. If one day you become Muslim and the next day everything changes, it's almost like the longevity there.
So
it's not. Do you know what I mean? It's not going to go on. So it's like anything in our life. We can't just suddenly wake up next day and change everything. I think sometimes it takes a bit of time to adjust and slowly introduce things. And I think like what the health and the whole vegan lifestyle, vegetarian lifestyle.
What the hell? Sorry.
Is excuse me. Sorry.
I know.
It is fantastic, and we should be conscious of it. But I can't ever see myself completely saying goodbye to like chicken.
No, 100%. No, that's unreasonable for me. I'm sorry. And even if I was to get married, and my wife would say, "Listen, I'm vegan," I said, "That's fine."
May I want you a pious wife who
Amen.
attends to your every need.
I mean, but I'll still tell her you still need to make me chicken. Though. Like,
No
I'm
doubt.
not gonna lie.
No doubt. I hear that.
You know,
But you've got to respect the man's love for chicken.
Yeah, definitely.
My missus doesn't cook me chicken at home anymore.
What?
And she's not vegan, vegetarian. We don't have meat in the house. It's like a thing
in
we
that
do.
sense, yeah.
I kind of miss it a little bit, but it's quite nice. You know, the other thing is I used to buy the chicken and take it home, and she had to it's
Take the head off and stuff.
not necessarily that. I would buy chicken breast quite often, but it's still like you have to cut all the gristle off the fat off. It's actually like
my wife. I make my wife. I don't make her, but my wife does
but it's actually not that nice. And she goes, "Do you know what? I really don't like this anymore." So like when we have chicken, we have it like takeaway or when we're out. Generally like keep it veggie.
My wife prefers it if I go to the butchers and I ask them to take the fat off before, like, and then bring it home like that. But sometimes I don't have the luxury of that. Sometimes I have to get my chicken breast from Asda, which is near my house. We got halal butchers in Asda. And so I can just they make the chicken breast and they pack it up, and then she'd have to cut off.
That's a good story. So what's your embarrassing story about the bench press?
Right. So basically, this is so embarrassing. So basically, in sixth form, I studied theatre studies. It was one of my things. It was like an acting thing in it. So about 3 or 4 lessons a week, I'd be in. So it'd be like a big black room, and that's where we do our rehearsals and our acting and stuff like that, right? So obviously to to always like break the ice and stuff, you do like acting games at the beginning, and so you do like improvisation stuff. And one of the games was something like someone like shouts out. It was like a miming thing where someone shouts something out, and you have to act it out, while someone else shouts something else out. You have to act out both things at the same time, something like that, right? And but I was in sixth form, so I must have been like what, 16, 17, like a grown, like almost approaching adulthood, right? Like, and someone shouted out, act like you're bench pressing in the gym. And I had no idea.
Really?
I knew what bench. I knew like it was must have been something to do with chest. I can't remember, but like I can't even remember. I just didn't know exactly what bench press was, and it was the most basic because I acted out like I must have like a shoulder press something, right? And bro, even my teacher was laughing at me like, "Am I like, is that bench press? Do you know what bench press is?" I like, no. It was so embarrassing.
What did you do? Please tell me, dude. What did you do?
I can't remember. It was like I don't
Reenact
think
it,
that
reenact
wasn't a bench press. Maybe I did like a bicep curl or like a shoulder press or something. But I didn't do a bench press in it. I was standing, and so like the first thing, like the dumb thing I didn't do is I didn't like lie down. So I should have like got on bench. So anyway, everyone's laughing at me, and like I found it so embarrassing. Oh,
That's good. So when I said, "Can you tell everyone what a bench press is?" You
come to that now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah.
You've been that good person not knowing what bench press is.
It was extremely embarrassing.
So just for the audience, the people who do tune in via YouTube, can you show everyone what a bench press is, just so we can see? Because we're talking about people who don't know what it is.
Everybody just to go to
Some people-
YouTube right now just for this.
Just-
Go on.
No, I can't do it
Just
because
show
you're
what
on the
you
bench.
can.
Right, so you lie down
Go on.
like this.
All the way back, or
You lie all the way back, and then like you got
go all the way back then,
I
if you
can't
can.
because I'm on a chair. You lie all the way back, and then you like get the bar, and the bar's like in front of you, and then you like lift it.
Show us again. Show one more time.
So you lie like all the way back here,
Go
like this. But I can't lie anymore back on this table, and like the bar is like there, and then like you lift it. That's bench press.
Thank you.
Guys, we're gonna take a quick break, but you guys won't notice because we're gonna cut the whole break out. So it will be almost as if we never went anywhere. But we'll be back in a second. Okay, and we're back, and we might be doing some live calls in the studio at some point during this podcast. Maybe, not definite, but maybe if we get some calls in, which will be fun, wouldn't it, Sam? We've never done that before.
We did. Yeah, we haven't done. No, we spoke to Red live last week, didn't we? But we haven't had a random person contact us. It could go really, really badly. To be fair,
It could go really badly.
depends who's tuned in to Instagram at this time in the morning on a Thursday.
Yeah.
Well, it's holiday times anyways for a lot of students, so maybe you have a lot of traction. You don't know.
Or like they're all asleep. It is
What,
11
you,
a.m.
you put it on your story that you're willing to have someone random call up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I put it in my story and I put it on the Freshly Grounded story. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, it's almost like we should have prepped it just a tiny bit.
Prepped it.
As in, maybe done it like maybe half an hour just before we started it. So by the time we actually come to it, maybe someone's seen it.
Or like what we're playing.
Why don't you just call Red? Want to just call Red?
Next week we'll do it properly with Red because what Red will do is Red will hook the phone up to his mic,
I was to be able to hear the
so
person.
we can both talk. Does that make sense? Yeah. Oh look, Mahdi's in. It's nice, isn't it? Anyway, yeah. So we're still here with Mohamed, Abdullah. I just did that because.
Can I ask, Faisal, your last name, Chaudhry?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's the most basic Pakistani name I know.
is it? Because there are some people I hear with that name, Chaudhry.
Yeah, in the Bengali.
Some good, some bad.
Yep.
Right? Some on a particular watch list in this country, some not.
Okay.
Are those family members of yours?
No, they are not.
So do you ever get stopped in airports, like, Anjem or anything like that? Did I ask you?
Nope.
You don't?
Nope.
Have you ever been stopped?
Yes.
For Islamic reasons?
Yeah. I mean,
what did they ask you?
Huh?
What did they ask you?
Man, I spoke about these stories so many times now. Like, I think if you go look back to the podcast where we had Muslim Bilal on, me and Sam spoke about it in depth because Sam had just come back from America and he had been stopped in a very detailed manner.
Right.
So we spoke about it then. But yeah, generally, yeah, like stopped
In the UK, you've been stopped, you mean, yeah?
I've been stopped in Edinburgh, even in Scotland. I think we spoke about that. Or not Edinburgh, Glasgow, something like that. I don't know.
Wow.
I've been stopped in the UK, stopped in America,
Right.
stopped all over the
What
place.
about you, Mohamed?
For me, they always take a suspicious amount of time with my documents. Maybe it's because of the name. Maybe it's because of a loads of Somalis, just committing a lot of fraud.
Yeah.
I've been stopped once. It's been one of the most annoying experiences of my life.
Yep.
Because the people who stopped me had manners and they were very polite, but they had no reasons to stop me, and they just wasted almost 4 hours of my life, which they honestly apologized for, and I believe the apologies were sincere. They were just doing their job. They just got their supervisor their supervisor assigned them to interrogate me. But it's just, I hate the fact that they just make you wait so long for no reason, and the only thing they'll tell you is only takes a little bit longer. We can't tell you exactly how long. That's it. But you better sit there and do nothing.
Do you get stopped for selfies at all by like fans, Mohamed?
Me? Oh no.
Never.
No.
Slightly off topic, bro.
We're still being stopped, isn't
I
it?
suppose
Sam?
it is being stopped.
Yeah.
Do
Not
you-
even in Holland.
Do you get stopped for selfies?
Nah,
Faisal?
not really. Nah.
No.
Let's move on.
Is this a cry for help? Like,
Please? Nah.
Something. Yeah. It seems that way, doesn't it?
yeah, a little
I mean,
bit.
I've noticed that
It's
myself.
suspicious.
Mm.
Would you say that you're famous in this country?
Nah, definitely not, bro.
Would
I
you
think
say
to
you're a
be
public
I think-
figure?
I'd say to be famous, you have to have about 500,000 followers on Instagram.
Yeah, I mean,
You
how do
class
you
that
get
as
that
fame?
famous tick? How do you get that famous tick?
I don't know, because there's people who have got like 1,000 followers, but they've got the famous tick. So I don't know. I think it's up to Instagram.
No, I don't even mean like that, the Instagram tick. I mean the actual, to be able to claim that you're famous.
Oh, don't know. You have
Because
to ask a
I suppose
famous,
there's both different levels of fame, isn't there?
yeah.
Yeah.
Not only that, but fame doesn't last. So even though you still have the amount of followers, you're not really that much of an influencer anymore.
True.
So can you still call yourself famous?
You could call yourself a 15-minute famous man or woman.
Andy Warhol predicted, I think in the 80s, that the future generations, everyone will just be fighting for the 30 minutes of fame.
Really?
And how much do we see that?
Yeah.
Very much.
It's just that, look at all this, like the Big Brother, the TV programs, when people can get a platform and they can sort of suddenly be on national TV, and there's some of these people like obtain like fame for such a short amount of time. It's so true. Everyone's just fighting for that, just like the little bit of fame, earn a little bit of money, be on the paper, be in the magazine. It's a crazy reality,
Yeah.
man. 30
It
minutes of
is.
fame, no longevity. Not like you want to build a career and be
Right.
known for.
Or push a positive message.
Yeah, or anything positive or good. It's just like just being known, just being known for something.
I suppose.
Like Kanye West's missus. What's she ever done? She's one of the most famous women in the world. But what's she ever done? What's her talent?
Yeah.
It's a mad
Nothing.
thing. Do you know what I mean? People are just famous for nothing. It's kind of a shame. Someone like David Beckham, you know what I mean? Mashallah, look at his career. He's like,
Yeah.
that's a very
Do you remember his
credible.
goal do you remember his goal from the halfway line?
Yeah, long time back.
Yeah, proper long time
Way
back.
back.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
year was that again? I forget.
Not sure. I
before-
remember it, though. I
before
think I watched that match.
Cantona time, wasn't it?
Nah.
After Cantona.
I think it was on David Seaman time though.
David Seaman. That was the same time as Cantona.
Speak about him a lot on the podcast, don't we?
David Seaman, I met him at the gym once.
Really?
Yeah.
I have a friend who cuts Aaron Ramsey's hair.
You haven't got a friend who cuts Aaron Ramsey's
Well,
hair?
he's not a friend, but I know him.
He works for me, doesn't he?
Yeah, he works for my friend's company.
Who?
My friend Josh, he works for his company.
Josh said you're not friends.
Oh, really? Did he say that?
No, but I'm sure he would. I'm joking. I'm sure he would. I'm sure he would.
Wow.
See how he twists
I'm
the
sure
reality,
it
Faisal, I genuinely think you're one of the most happiest people.
Me?
Yeah.
Nah, you're
Personally,
seeing.
actually.
You're definitely seeing one side
Nah,
of the coin.
the thing is,
Think back to
you convince yourself of everything,
Think back to Leicester last year.
Nah. But I don't class that as happiness, In your head, can you? Does it really, really, really go against reality sometimes?
Does my head go against reality?
Yeah, well, like your thoughts.
I'm
Do
confused. by
they
the question.
challenge like the reality of your personal situation? Maybe your personal surroundings, your the people you associate with. Like let's say a very, very drastic imagination here. Do you in your head think that your best friend was Kanye West, for example?
Is that the kind of thing I would think?
Yeah, but that's a very exaggerated example. Let's say you get to meet him 2-3 times a week for 2 months. Would you then classify him as your friend, for example? Although he doesn't even necessarily feel any particular way about you.
I don't know if I would want Kanye West specifically.
That's
as
just
my
an
friend.
example. It just could be
But-
anyone. Could be anyone.
Yeah, fine. I mean, maybe.
Okay. And when does someone become your friend? Because now I'm curious.
I suppose someone becomes your friend when you're like, you've met with them a few, like more than just like a couple times, and
Right.
you've exchanged numbers and you talk on a fairly regular basis, I'd consider them maybe on like a step one of friendship.
How many steps are there in friendship?
Oh, there you go on, Sam.
How many have you reached?
With you, I think with
Not
you,
with me, not with me in general.
I think the height of friendship is what I have with Only, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What, you level 10?
yeah.
Would you say that's the max? Someone can that's how close someone can become who's not your brother?
Yeah, I'd say.
Hmm.
I'd say I couldn't really get much closer to anybody than the extent. Of
You
close-
could, but it will get a bit creepy, I guess.
Yeah.
without being like
Right,
weird.
right. Fair
We're
enough.
extremely like. Alhamdulillah, we live together. You know, I could talk to him about absolutely anything. Talk to me about absolutely anything. We know each other's families. He could come over to my house. And like, there's not really many boundaries other than
Right.
the boundaries that have been set by Allah. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
No, not like that, bro. I mean, like he couldn't turn up at my house because I've got like my sisters. Do you know what I mean? But, like, that's what I mean. But like generally, he could roll up to my yard and be like, "Yo, I'm outside," or like he could roll up to my yard and be like, "Is it cool if I come in?" And I could be like, "Oh yeah, it's calm. Let me just like tell everyone to go upstairs." Do you know what I mean? So generally, we're as close as you can get. We're like brothers, man. Yeah, man. We're almost like blood brothers, but just not blood brothers.
Do you have a friend like that, Sam?
He does. We spoke about it in podcast before, but Mohamed, I thought you listened to our podcast weekly.
Well, do I remember everything?
But I would have hoped so. Maybe what we speak about isn't prominent enough.
Do you have that, Mohammed?
Yeah. I'll classify Julian as that friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. 100%. To the extent that if my sisters would in any way, shape or form be interested, and if he would be interested, that would be one of the most happiest moments of my life. If he were to marry inside my family.
Really?
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's like the one of the ultimate forms of friendship, isn't it? When like, and I think I might have spoken to you about this before, Sam. Like, before we were probably practicing Muslims, you like if you was with your boys, you probably the type of boys you probably have or B, just generally you would never look at your boys and be like, "Rare, like I want him to marry my sister,"
Right.
because that's just like.
Weird.
Nah, bruv, you're my boy.
Yeah.
But now, like when you're like trying to follow like an Islamic lifestyle, like you become friends with people and you think to yourselves like, this person's so beautiful. Like I'd love to bring him into my family. I'd love for him to marry my sister. And that kind of, and how beautiful is that form of friendship where you're looking out for each other's like akhirah and like you're becoming friends with people that are so pure hearted that like you'd even want them to be members of your family. But before I would never, I'm not outing my friends, but do you know what I mean?
Would you want me to marry into your family?
Alhamdulillah, you're happily married and you got
That aside, would you? And be honest.
But of course, like I think you're, yeah, man. Like I can't. Honestly, I love your character. I think you remind me a lot of a taller, whiter, older version of myself.
Yeah. We've definitely got similar characteristics. Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. Not that much whiter though, because when we put our arms next to each other, you're actually darker skinned than me, weren't you?
Yeah, I think I'm probably.
Yeah, you still are.
Yeah, still.
Wow, yeah.
See that?
Wow, even I can see that.
Yeah.
And I'm what known as a Gora, which is
Yeah.
a white man, and this is what yeah.
What
So
am I
you're
known as?
Pakistani man.
Yeah, Pakistani man.
I'll classify you as confused.
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah,
Faisal.
racially confused. Yeah, definitely.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Nah, but you know what it is, yeah. With all due respect, if you don't feel comfortable with your friends marrying one of your sisters or your sister, then either you're not really good friends, or you just are friends with not particularly good people.
Yeah, that's it.
So one of the two options. There's no third. That's what I would say. Would you disagree?
No, I wouldn't disagree. I would actually say go further and say that, you know, I heard someone say recently that if you have friends that like put pressure on you or make you feel uncomfortable at certain times, they're not actually your friends, because your friends wouldn't make you feel like that. So for those people who are listening, I mean, generally the Freshly Grounded audience is actually much older than my general audience that is on YouTube and stuff. So it's nice because on Freshly Grounded we can actually have like mature conversations and stuff. Yeah. I remember last week I think we said something. Sam said something about the sneeze.
Yeah.
And
you cut that out.
I didn't cut that out, nah, because my wife asked me about that and she said, "Can you say something?" And I said, "Yeah, because on." Our podcast, especially what I found is that our audience is much older,
Right.
and more mature,
Right.
so we can actually have a mature conversation, can't we, on here?
That was borderline, but I didn't say it in a crude way.
No, you didn't, and I didn't. I say we
Do you
can
know
have more
what
mature. I know I can have I say that we can have more mature conversation, and I'm probably like the one who's like really like immature on here, but generally we can have more mature conversations than I could have on my YouTube, for example. My YouTube, I have to be very conscious that my 9-year-old cousin.
I want to talk about specifically a topic, right? Because this is something that I think Muslims are still not dealing with, especially in the West. And I think, let's say, our generation, right, can tackle this a lot better, right? And that is preparing for marriage. Marriage is one of the things that everybody likes to talk about, especially people who are not married. They love to talk about it. And the people who are married love to complain about it, right? That's just generally how it goes. It's not a topic that generally gets old. But when it comes to people connecting on that level and being comfortable to introduce each other to their parents and whatnot, to actually set it off, how come that is the moment that parents finally decide to talk about the male and the female anatomy, so to say, and the differences between them and the rights that they have over each other? I think this is something, and this is just something I want to throw out there and ask you. I think this is something that's really, really neglected, and one of the reasons a lot of marriages have unreasonable expectations. You know, what do you think? How would you think we can tackle this? What do you guys think?
I have quite a strong opinion on this. I would say that originally I had the same mindset, and I was really kind of, when I started practicing, I was quite angry with our community for not talking about it enough, which kind of bugged me, right? Because I was like, it's only like because of like culture that we don't speak about, you know, sex and like the things around it, and it's important for people to know about it. To the point where last year when I did that podcast with you, if you remember, I actually did a subsequent podcast with Musa that I never actually put out, and the majority of the podcast was about that, because we were going through like a book which was called The Islamic Guide to Sexual Relations, and it kind of like outlines a lot of like things that like are really, really difficult for anybody to speak to anybody else about. Like it's really like, it's very, very detailed, and it gives a hadith and Quran to back everything it says. Now, the reason I never put that podcast out is because I've been learning, as with everything in Islam, you learn as you go along, don't you? Like you have some opinions that at first, when you first come to deen, you're very passionate about, and then later on you realize that like
you're just
right. So an example of that would be like, for example, let's say I'll give you an example. When I first started practicing, I would like shout at people who are wearing shorts because they're not covering their knees. Now, as much as like there is a very valid opinion, and that I follow still, that the knees are part of the aura, there's also another opinion, and with verified Sahih ahadith to state that the knees are not part of the aura, for example. Right? Now, when there's two opinions that are respected and have appropriate ahadith to back them up, you can't be rough and tough with it like to that extent, right? Beautiful. So I was actually in the wrong for screaming and shouting at people in my family who were wearing shorts, because not because that it wasn't right, not because I was wrong in what I was saying, but because you have to respect, you have to deal with stuff with the correct akhlaq. That's an example of when you might be passionate about something but be wrong in the way you approach it, right?
But how does this translate to this?
I'm about to translate it now, So I used to be very passionate about, hey guys, we should speak about this kind of stuff, Now, the reason my opinion has changed slightly is because I was listening to a lecture recently by a very respected speaker who is a teacher who is like very respected, he's got very good credentials, etc., etc. And what he was basically saying, is this: Islamically, one of the beauties of Islam is that we are shy about how we speak and about the things we speak about, to the point where, for example, there was one speaker who studied in Medina, and he was doing a Q&A and the questions were asked by teenagers, and he gave before he started the Q&A, he said, guys, listen, this Q&A that's been asked by teenage boys, so a lot of the stuff is maybe slightly crude and that kind of stuff, and I will do my best to, when I ask the questions that have been written out for me, ask them in a way in which we can
understand what's going on?
Say the word more sensitively. Because Islamically, we have to be shy and sensitive about this stuff. Even one brother told me that, how about this, the hadith that says that shyness and iman are... come together. You can't have shyness with I don't think this shyness and iman come together. I don't want to say it's a hadith. I'd rather say it's a narration, because I'm not sure if it came from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I don't want to attribute it wrongly, but we all know that shyness and iman are come together, right? And so my argument is that yes, we should speak about it more, but we should also, there's nothing wrong with being shy in how we speak about it.
That's fine, but I don't think anyone would disagree, but let's zoom in a little bit. Do you think now being married for almost a year, right?
Over a year now.
Over a year, Allah Barik.
I mean,
I just calculate your walima as
Okay,
the
fine,
moment you
fine.
live together and
yeah,
you
yeah,
actually,
that's true.
do you get me? So now you experience life. And you being in that frame of this is something you don't talk about with your folks, something that generally came up maybe between you and a couple of brothers. You know, that's it, right? That's the environment you had, and your non-Muslim environment as well. You know, do you think there's a need for it? Yes or no? Let's just keep it like kind of short and dense. Something that we can use, because I'm looking at it from the perspective of I've no referencing, no framework. I haven't experienced it yet to that degree, so I don't know.
But
So,
even
so
in
in a nutshell,
Yeah.
the question is, young Muslims, should they be taught about what sex?
Yeah. Do you think so? Because you've experienced the taboo about it, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that taboo was a healthy thing? Yes or no?
No, it's not healthy to the extent that it is in my community. It's not. It
But
should be
I
spoken
think,
about more.
I think with all due respect, your community and all the other traditional Muslim communities are not really that different when
Right.
it comes to this topic. Believe me, it's all kind of generically the same thing.
I'd love to know from Sam's perspective, because Sam is not from our community. You've been brought up differently as well.
From
From a Pakistani or traditional Somali or traditional Pakistani family where
What?
it is very taboo.
as in it's not talked about.
It's not taboo at all, no.
I would say I remember very, very explicitly at year 6, I was shown sex education at school. Like, I'm talking about shown everything, and I did know a bit about stuff before that, which we must have picked up from older siblings and general conversation in the
Right.
playground. But that's
Right.
year 6 was when it was really put in front of me.
And year 6 is what age?
That's
for me?
before secondary school, so you would be 12.
Okay, yeah. It's almost
before-
the same age as in the Netherlands.
Yeah. So you're shown then, and you're actually shown everything then, from my memory. Now I'm not sure. No, in fact, that's a terrible decision. I think sex is put onto the youth in primary schools way too early,
Yeah.
and it's talked about way too freely, and it's made out like it's something that you should be experiencing. Like, it's almost like they're gearing you up in primary school, ready for
Right.
your first year in secondary school. That was the feeling. Learning about I want to keep this very, very halal, and I don't, for the young audience. I don't want to. I don't want to go into anything. But the things, the videos that I was shown, for the fact that I was taught everything. Almost ready. It's almost like saying, okay, guys, get ready for secondary school. Like, you're about to. It was almost had that feeling, and almost, and then in secondary school it was like, you know. And my parent. I remember when I was in year 7, my mum took me round to. I made some friends, and I literally went round to a girl's house, and there was just girls there and myself, just on a social. This was year 7, so young. I remember my mum had the conversation with me on the way there about this topic. And I was very, very young, and I said, no, this is, you got the wrong idea, mum. Like, I'm not about that. This is casual. But like, that was. I remember thinking at this time, like, I'm too young to, like. I feel like I was like being prepared for it, and I felt
Through
too.
the lines, then.
Yeah, like, I literally, like, and I remember thinking, I'm not ready for it. I mean, this is the age of 12, 13.
Yeah.
13, whatever.
But I'm like,
So I feel like very much in my community, it's
Yeah.
they expect kids to have sex young.
Right.
Do you know what? They're going to do it. Just show them how to do it safely and
Yep.
get them ready for it. And that's almost like the feeling that I've been shown. It's like, it's going to happen. We
Right.
can't stop them. Let's
Right.
at least make it safe for them and show them how to do it
yeah.
in a safe way. That's
control
the,
environment.
yeah.
Almost like the Dutch people when it comes to weed, innit?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Just control it, and
Yeah.
So that's how I've come up on it, and I've come up on no Islamic upbringing whatsoever. So all that kind of stuff, like your background, both of you guys' background, I can imagine, but it's not like my parents are at all. It's not like something they ever pushed in front of me, but it was very much like, if you need to know anything, talk to us. But I never really learned anything from my parents anyway. But it was very much school. That's
Right.
young British guy. You're shown it early, and it's almost like the expectation. You're supposed to act early on it as well, and it's almost like like during school conversations, it's something that happens.
Would you say that both perspectives then are kind of calling to extreme? One is extreme negligence and neglect.
It needs to be, because it's a reality, isn't it?
Right.
And it's kids aren't stupid.
No, definitely not.
For me, I mean, it's about, like, I've got to think about how I'm going to raise my children.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've already got a plan in place how I'm going to speak to, firstly, my son about certain things, because I'm going to be upfront about it, but I think I'm going to probably explain the bigger picture for it, because even, you know, again, not going too crude, but there's certain things he's going to need to learn from a young age that aren't acceptable.
Right.
That I think in like from my upbringing is very much promoted from a young age, and you have a lot of young guys talking about certain things that, you know, which we know as Muslims it's not something part of our religion. So I plan to speak to him about it so he understands the bigger picture. But I want to introduce Allah into it and our religion and like the way we live and how what's right, what's wrong. But that will be going from how he goes to the toilet to how he cleans himself. Like he won't. I was brought up to you go to the toilet, stand in the urinal, and that's it. But now, alhamdulillah, since I've become a Muslim, I was taught actually how to clean myself correctly, and the effect that's had on my life. Like you guys have always had that you know, I'm just talking about how you would clean yourself, how you go to the toilet. You guys have always had that. So when I was shown that, alhamdulillah, it changed my life. It changed my life. How I feel like cleanliness is great. So I'm very much going to bring my son up with this is how we live. And this is why we don't do certain things that your friends are going to be doing or people at school are going to do. We don't do that, but this is how we live, and we do everything that God tells us to do, basically. And I think I'm trying to implement that very young, and he will enjoy it.
Do you think you find that challenging because
yeah, of course.
You're setting a benchmark for the first time? You haven't necessarily been taught how to teach that, but you're the first person who's going to do that in your kind of family.
Yeah, I'm confident with it, man. Because like even like when I give dawah to new Muslims and new people become, you know, Muslims, and I talk to them about how to go to the toilet. And they like, I remember when I went round to a brother's house and he literally sat next to me and said, "There's no shyness in religion. I'm going to tell you how to go to the toilet." And my first instinct was I was going to giggle because what he was talking about is the kind of thing you're spoken to like a child. Yeah. But it's the same thing I say to people when someone's taking their shahada, they start practicing Muslim, etc. I say, look, when you go to the toilet, there's certain things you need to do because, you know, a drop of urine is going to nullify your wudu, is going to nullify your salah. It's very, very important. Shaitan loves it if you're dirty. So when you're speaking to people about how to clean yourself correctly and stuff, I'm quite confident with it because I think it's so beautiful. Yeah. The sunnah is so beautiful.
Yeah, of course.
And I keep talking about that cleanliness thing, man, because like, not that coming from a white background, you're at all dirty. It's not that. It's just the little beautiful sunnahs, man, and it makes a big difference to your lifestyle, man. Like to how you sleep, to how when you get up in the morning, you do the sunnah like just cleaning out your nose, washing yourself, and doing wudu and stuff. Like these things, man, like. There's no reason to do it. Like from the background I come from, like yes, you would wash your face before you go to sleep. That's what your grandma would tell you to do because obviously it feels nice. But when you actually implement things from the sunnah and actually understand why you're doing it, it does have such a powerful effect on your life. So I'm very confident with bringing my family up, inshallah, upon the sunnah, man, as much as possible, and also being real with them because they're going to be growing up. Well, I don't know who's best where they're going to be growing up, but if they grow up in the West, there's fitna everywhere for them, and I can speak to them on the level that I was brought up in Jahiliyyah, the worst of the worst, living upon haram. And now, alhamdulillah, I'm a Muslim man with a Muslim family, a white Muslim man with a white Muslim family. So I have to like, it's gonna be tough bringing a white Muslim family up. And bear in mind, my children aren't reverts. My children, alhamdulillah, are pure Muslims. You know what I mean? Both their parents are Muslim. So it's gonna be a thing. Like even at school, like my boy is gonna be known just as a white Muslim. It's gonna be a norm. It's not like he reverted or he came to it. Like he's just like, you know.
It's not gonna be asked 20 million times to tell his revert story.
Of course, it's gonna be all
he's
that.
He's gonna be asked a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know one white Muslim teacher, and he I don't know him personally, but I've seen some of his videos, and he says. He's almost made like a part of his talks where he says like, I get asked a lot when I reverted to Islam. I did not revert to Islam. My parents reverted, and I'm a born Muslim. I've always been Muslim. Yeah. But boy, it's beautiful because as much as we talk about how like that will be different for your kid, and I'm sure it will still be a bit different, it's still gonna be a tiny bit nicer because his generation is going to be the generation where a lot of the parents reverted and have had like white Muslim kids, inshallah. So I think like it'll be more common. Like right now, reverts are common, right? But in the next generation, inshallah, it'll be really common to be born Muslim, but just be diverse. Like it'll be people will be asked their revert stories maybe because it'll just be normal. So inshallah, so that'll be nice. Like,
do you think it's going to be common?
I think it'll be more common than it is now. 100%.
I think reverts are common now.
I think right now reverts are common, but not. I only know one person that's white, born Muslim, and I don't know him. Like I said, he's a speaker. Teacher, yeah. So I think it'll be way more. Like I reckon it's. Don't get me wrong. I don't think it'll be like everywhere you find them, but I think you'll see it way more often. Like you'll see people who are born Muslim because their parents reverted, and then like the generation after Zayden will be like even more popular, bro, because like their grandparents reverted. Do you know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
we're in a beautiful time, bro. Like, look at the amount of young people that are reverting right now,
Mm.
and they're all gonna inshallah have children, and they're all gonna have get married, and so yeah, man. I think we can't. In that sense, we will be looking at a beautiful time. I think.
Inshallah.
Inshallah, man.
And he's gonna be brought up with such a beautiful way of life. And look, Zayden's got Uncle Faisal, so he'll be alright.
That's what I'm worried about, to be fair.
Keep your kid far away from him, bro.
Absolutely, man.
Oh yeah. You don't want that.
Does
man.
that kind of answer the original question?
Yeah, I think so.
So my final stance, speaking with absolute zero knowledge, would be I think it's important for them to know.
Right.
Because let's face it, they do know.
Yeah.
Kids do know.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
think
If you don't teach them, they're
they're
somewhere
gonna
else.
find out the alternative
Exactly.
route, and it's not going to be a good route.
No.
So if we can take time to really explain the whole bigger picture to our children and show them the respect that they deserve, and not treat them like they are, you know.
Right.
That they're stupid, they're not going to figure it out for themselves. Maybe if we actually take time to explain it to them and why we do, why we don't.
You know what I really was trying to go with this is not necessarily preparing for puberty or preparing for these feelings or preparing for the change of their body. Like that in and of itself, the framework of school, you can almost not bypass that as a parent. You can't tell your kids you can't go to health class or whatsoever, because even if you will tell them you're not allowed to go, tell the school don't let my kids watch that, they'll hear from the other children, right? Yeah. There's no point. That's just actually hyping something up by making it exclusive or not reachable. What I'm more talking about is necessarily someone is now of the age that they're ready for marriage, actually are preparing for it. It's going to take them 6-7 months. The conversation that parents have is always about think about this, think about your intentions, think about what you're doing for the sake of Allah and whatnot, and they don't really focus on, hey, listen, you're a guy, you're not gonna marry a girl. Hey, you're a girl, you're gonna marry a guy. Don't expect their body to react the same way to your body. And these expectations that you have, or these fears that you have, are they by any chance reasonable? Yes or no? That's the conversation that I would like to see more happening. Yeah. Because I counsel a lot of youth who go through struggles in their marriage. Although I'm not married myself, the stuff I hear is just not normal. You know.
Well, connected to what you just said, in the sense of not then entering a married relationship and
having false expectations.
Yeah. False expectations, fair enough.
Based on the anatomy of their body not being the same as their spouse's. You know, the sexual tendencies for the guy are different than for the girl, and both having fulfillment takes attention and takes understanding. You get me?
That's all part of learning. That's a thing that happens within your marriage.
Okay.
I think almost for argument's sake, you could say you've got a boy and a girl. They've just got married.
Right.
Yeah? Neither of them have any experience of ever.
But they have influence though.
But they've had no experience of being in any kind of relationship or.
Right. It's the first time.
So it's brand new,
yes,
and they've got to basically figure out the whole thing.
Right.
I think that's how a marriage and a relationship grows, though, by figuring it out. Because I don't think it's.
Together, yeah.
It's almost like.
So there's no need to spell it out. Is what you're saying?
I think that's about personal growth and growth within your relationship.
Okay, that's a beautiful perspective.
This is the beautiful thing about marriage. What I've learned through this beautiful halal relationship about the give and take and little things like, bro, I took a little bit extra time out to give time to my wife and my son, and I put my phone literally to one side. It wasn't even on it, like for nothing. So I gave them my full attention for the sake of Allah, yeah. And what that has done for me, just that small act of giving them my time, which has cost me nothing, just giving them my time and my attention. That's what makes them happy. The small things, the small little things. So it's relationships very much about give and take. But I really, really feel like you have to learn about your spouse, and it's a very personal thing. So it's almost like I don't think I could necessarily get deep advice from Faisal about my wife because he doesn't know my wife. It's almost something I have to figure out and learn. I think it's all part of the journey of marriage. To answer that, quite frankly, it's all part of the journey.
Right.
And I think it's always very unique and personal.
Right.
We have a question from social media. Do you want to take it?
Do I want to take it?
Yeah. Well, it's actually for you, so you have to take it. Someone says, Salam, a question for Sam. You must meet all types of customers. Where's the farthest your customers have travelled from just to have your coffee? And then they said, P.S. Costa's flat white isn't as good as yours.
Alhamdulillah, they've been there, yeah? A sister came from America, and the first place she went to is 59 with her suitcase.
What?
So I don't know it's best whether her intention was just to leave her lands just for 59, but I know the first place she went with her suitcase was 59. So I'll take that. I say America is probably the furthest place someone's come.
That's mad, isn't it?
I wasn't there either, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah.
Mahi was there.
Yeah,
I think I said yeah. So she was a bit disappointed, but that's great.
I'm scared.
Have you been yet? Mohamed?
No, I asked you to take me, but you regretted chilling with me, and you didn't want to go with me, and you didn't pay
Is that true?
attention. Nor did you pick
How
up
long are
your
you here
phone.
for?
I'm not sure. It all depends on some family stuff I need to take
Right.
care of.
So you're back? Are you back quite
Yeah, I'll, when I leave, I'll probably be back in about 2 weeks.
Okay, fine. So you're gonna come down?
Yeah, I'll definitely come.
Haircut,
Right, attention.
coffee,
The whole shebang.
please,
Inshallah.
inshallah.
They'll nice you there in men's bio.
That's why I wanted to ask
Go
you,
on.
man. When it comes to the beard, yeah, you have so many oils and creams and argan oil and this and that. What should I do just to make sure that my hair growth stays healthy, my beard stays healthy?
Healthy. You just want to probably wash it at least once or twice a week and condition it, just for health. And
Okay.
then generally I advise a light beard oil and then just a comb through with your length, just a nice comb, bit of oil. You brush that through. That'll be beautiful for you.
Khalas, that's it. That's simplicity and regularity, though.
Let me just pop your head back just a small touch. I'm just going to brush it just a touch if you don't mind. That feels good.
Sam, have I given you any of the beard oil from Zaha.com?
That feels good. It feels healthy. No,
Thank you.
I'm going to give you some today.
please.
Yeah.
There's what I see one up there.
Yeah, there is one up there, isn't there? Yeah.
It's good. I think I used it one time. It's good.
Yeah.
How's it going? Good.
I've got plans to get. I don't want to say it because
Yeah, but there's plans.
Inshallah, there's plans
Do you know
to
what?
increase the beard oil.
He's
in different
working.
ways, yeah.
He's working.
Your
he's
beard,
grinding.
I can see it up there. Your beard oil. There's beard oil available on Azaha.com in the lifestyle section.
Yeah.
There's also beard oil available on the Men's Spa website.
Wow.
You guys take your pick. I've been doing this for 12 years.
Wow.
I've had a big beard for years. I mean, I've been doing it. I would say, alhamdulillah, I'm a professional. The brother here, mashallah, he does caps very, very well. I'm not sure
Stay
if
in
his
your
beard
lane,
oil
Faisal.
is as good as mine,
Stay
but
in your lane.
I would say they're almost like that. So you guys can pick.
How about I'll give you the beard oil, Sam, and then you try it out, and you come back next week's podcast. You give me a review on it.
Okay, and I'll give you a Men's Spa one.
Fine.
It's actually a really good Men's Spa one.
Fine.
I'll give you an honest review.
Fine.
Why don't you pass it to me now?
I'll give it to you after the podcast.
Okay, fine.
A bit of good, friendly, brotherly competition, really. Yeah. Right, so just...
Okay, so I'm gonna start a clothing line where you can get your hair cut at the same time whilst I'm serving you coffee, so you don't need to like go to 2 different places. I'll just make it easy for the ummah.
but that's going to be in
excellent.
Rotterdam anyway, isn't it? So
I call it Smening. No, I do one in London for you guys. Otherwise you need to travel so far, and
It's true.
make it easy for you, lot.
Okay, shukran.
No, but if you ever plan on doing a business in the Netherlands, do talk to me, please.
Absolutely.
I studied accounting, so maybe
Oh, really?
we can chat. Yeah.
Oh, inshallah,
I'll help you
man.
out.
Mohamed
love to have some good
is
food
linked
there.
up as well, man. Mohamed is linked up. He's got some good connects
I imagine.
up there in the old Holland.
Alhamdulillah.
Mohamed, it's been absolutely amazing having you on.
It's such a
you
shame
guys.
it's coming to an end, man.
Yeah.
Wallahi, out of all the podcasts, this is the one that I feel like I could just let go on for a few more hours
Well, it's fine.
because I'm just enjoying the brothers, mashallah.
Barakallah feekum, I appreciate it.
My pleasure, my brother.
Allah bless you.
But you're like you said before. You're in. Was you going to shake my hand?
Yes, but then
Oh,
again,
sorry.
you didn't pay attention. You almost turned your head.
Sorry, I'm just
Almost
Show the
quite-
camera, I
almost-
just want to show everybody.
Almost
like,
quite self-involved.
Yeah.
almost as if I'm trying to
Why-
run an entire podcast, direct
why are you
podcast,
stealing
host
my
a
hand?
podcast, all at the same time.
Your hand's quite sweaty.
No, it's not. It's yours. My hands never get sweaty. That's how I know.
Small, so not sweaty.
Yeah, my hands are small and unsweaty.
Are you related to Donald Trump?
No. Alhamdulillah.
These hands of mine are not small.
Mohamed, you're back in London often.
Yeah.
So please do grace us with your presence again.
Inshallah.
Not too often though, otherwise it will get boring.
Correct. No, I'm joking. Guys, we've got some really exciting stuff. Sam,
Current events?
we can't do current events before.
Oh, yeah, because we've got Mr.
We haven't got Red in the building yet. We've got Dowdo. Dowd, let's get high even though we can't hear it.
Go on, say something.
Yeah, alright, he nodded his head.
I love his enthusiasm, man.
Shoutouts and anything. Or
Sorry?
You just copy and paste that.
The shout outs?
Yeah.
No. We
You
do
have-
the
you
intro.
have-
We do the intro at the end.
Right, because you do the intro where the outro is supposed to go.
Yeah.
Or you do the intro after the outro.
We do the intro at the end.
Guys,
and then we
you see
put it at the
confusion in
beginning.
the offices here.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
But we do have some exciting stuff. But because it's not confirmed, I suppose, Sam, we could maybe announce it next week's podcast, inshallah. How does that sound?
Of what? The thing we've spoken about?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not mention that.
Oh, that thing I don't know nothing about, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm just speaking to the person now about it, strangely enough.
Are you?
Yeah.
And
23rd of November.
Wow.
5 days is what he's saying.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, we'll talk about this off air. Guys, this has been Freshly Grounded. He's been Mohamed Smenings. He's been Sam Palmer. I've been Faisal Chowdhury. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you guys next week, inshallah. Next week is just going to be Sam and I believe Red is going to be back as well. Look after yourselves. Have a great week. And remember
Make dua.
to make dua. Yeah, that's a good one. Assalamu alaikum. Peace out.
Rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.